You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome. Welcome back, guys. How's it going?
Good. It's going good, man.
Good? Nice. Welcome to the Radio Tunes podcast, guys. Welcome to the only show. You found it. This is the only show.
This is the only podcast show
Yeah.
starring us.
I'm Steve,
I'm Ernie.
and we are your hosts. Last week was my birthday.
Yeah. What did you do for your birthday?
Not much. I went to downtown Disney and had dinner. I love Disney shit, as you know already. Me and Ernie both kind of, are not Disney fanatics, but we dabble.
Yeah,
in
we're
Disney
definitely
stuff.
not Disney fanatics, just because there's a lot of
We don't have annual passes and stuff.
no. I can't buy into the cult just yet. There's
Yeah.
too much there.
But we're both artists, obviously, and we can appreciate that about
Yeah.
it. I got myself a little treat at downtown Disney too. I got myself a light up Lumiere figure.
That
from
thing is
Disney.
really cool.
It is really cool. And you know what's funny? I did some research on that thing, and I guess people are like kind of pissed off
Why?
about that thing. So from what I read, it was this person's comment on the figure itself, like a review of it,
Okay.
and he was saying like, "Oh, I need to discuss the elephant in the room. Disney made this available to like certain buyers at one point, and it was like a collectible item."
Okay.
And they said like it came with collectible packaging and a certificate.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and they were like, but it was supposed to be just like for them, I guess. And they're kind
Oh,
of
so it was like it wasn't gonna be mass produced?
yeah, and they're like saying
Oh.
like, so now that it's released to the public, it kind of makes ours less special or whatever. And
But you got the box and the certificate and the bang bang boom. You
yeah,
know?
I don't know. I'm like, don't you guys have enough like, what is it like limited exclusive
Yeah,
shit? Like just
And by the way, that means nothing anymore. Limited
Yeah.
and exclusive or whatever, because it's just none of it's like anytime you see unlimited or what is it, limited edition or blah 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 on a movie or on a game, you're just like, whatever. It won't
Yeah.
be limited for long.
exactly. not even that. It's like when you buy a special edition of a game, it's like there's
There's nothing special about it.
what exactly does that entail? You know,
You
like,
save $2, and then later on when it's DLC, you'll have to pay an extra $1 for
Yeah,
it.
it's
That's
weird.
what it means.
But they also make Cogsworth, right? So if you're
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
If you're not familiar with Beauty and the Beast, Cogsworth and Lumiere are like these. It's a clock and like a candlestick man thing.
You told me that Cogsworth was worth more though.
Well, okay, so this is what I was saying. Like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I went to the Disney store and I saw a Cogsworth like clock there.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy working there was like, "Yeah, we're just gonna make a few of these, and then we're not gonna make them anymore, and blah 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 blah, whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean it's fucking cool, but it's like $80. I don't really want it,
Yeah. Plus, you're not a huge Beauty and the Beast fan.
I'm not, but okay, I'll get to that later. Lo and behold, that fucking 3D remake, like
Oh,
with
right,
Emma
yeah.
Watson comes out, and
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast shit is everywhere now. Like so that movie like broke records and all this shit,
Yeah.
and it's like okay, and all of a sudden now all this stuff is coming back. I was thinking about it, and I was like, that's probably why they took that Lumiere figure out of exclusivity or whatever.
They
the fuck
took it
you
out
wanna
of the
call it.
Disney vault.
Yeah, and then now they're selling it. The reason I bought it was like when I used to go to Disneyland as like a little kid, right?
Right.
Which I haven't been there in like 10 years. My favorite part was just like Toontown.
Yeah.
Like Toontown, when you go to Mickey's house or Minnie's house,
Yeah.
and their whole house is filled with cartoon shit.
Yeah.
That's just how I wanted to live, So like they have his phone there.
You can pick up the phone.
Yeah, and they have like his couch, and like they have Pluto's dish or something.
Yeah.
But
And you can go into his barn.
yeah, but
Yeah.
this is essentially like, okay, you can take a piece of the cartoon movie home, and it's still kind of
It looks like it.
it's not like it's useful like as a light source, but it is like a nice decorative piece.
Yeah.
That doesn't just what am I trying to say? It doesn't just work as a toy. It's also like a nice thing that you can show off.
Yeah, I guess
And
that's true.
and it
Because
makes
it is a candlestick.
Yeah, and it
you
makes
know?
me feel like I'm in the movie or in the cartoon world,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Maybe if that Cogsworth one like is
Well, it's a real clock, didn't you say?
yeah, and maybe if it's still around later, I'll get it. But it's just
They
it's
do come as a set. Steve.
it's like 80, it's like $85, and they also have Chip, the little cup. But I don't really give a shit about him. Yeah, I'm like
If they have Chip, they probably got his mom too.
yeah, Mrs. Potts, but I don't know.
Mrs. Potts. That's
Is that her name? I think that's her
no,
name.
I don't. It probably is. I just thought you said Mrs. Puff for a second from
Oh, no.
SpongeBob. But that's anyway. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The one thing I'll say is though, when we went down there. By the way, he went to Storyteller's Cafe.
Yeah, it's it's like one of my favorite buffets down there because it's actually good.
Yeah, the food is good. Like personally, I don't think it's worth that much, but I gotta say, like the quality across the board, every time we've gone there, it's always been good. And
Yeah.
with buffets, that's kind of hard to do.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Is that there was a time where I took my niece and nephew to Goofy's Kitchen.
Oh yeah.
That place is not good, man. Like I went for breakfast and I was like, okay, like they have breakfast shit, right? And
Right.
like I was like, it's for kids and stuff. I'm not. I just thought like it's Disney. Why wouldn't they have like that quality of like Disney standards? I guess.
Yeah, especially it being at the Disney Hotel.
Yeah. Well, okay. So anyway, we went there, and like the pancakes were like fucking cold, and they weren't like fluffy. They were like really like they just weren't good. They were in the
Yeah.
shape of Mickey's head.
Well, they
But
got
I
that
was like,
down.
but I was like, they're not good. So why am I gonna eat them? And like they had
Mickey's head.
they had like really bad like bacon there. Like everything was just like
Bad.
yeah, and it cost. I mean, I guess it was a fair price. There was like maybe five or six of us there, and it was like $200 something. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
The other places I wanted to try, there's a steakhouse in that hotel somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to try that. Yeah. But
I heard there's a good buffet in the park too, and I just
there's a couple of different places like that because it's all kind of buffet food.
yeah.
Like there's a Mexican food place where they're building Star Wars Land. There's a Mexican food place there.
Is that Tortilla Joe's or whatever?
No. That's downtown Disney. You said in the park.
Yeah, in the park.
Yeah, so like when you start to go into Adventureland, it's that shooting gallery.
Sure.
Then right next to the shooting gallery, there's a little, what looks like a little mission.
Okay.
That's a Mexican restaurant, and it's
Ah.
buffet style.
All right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because we're used to having good Mexican food, and then you have that. That's like how-
Yeah, I get it. But I'm also not too crazy about the idea of spending like $100 on admission
yeah,
and then
that's the
going to
problem.
fucking eat there as well as like.
That's the thing. Like me and Cindy were like, "Oh, should go eat at Blue Bayou? Is there a way to just eat there without having to buy the ticket? Like, can you do that?" And they're like, "No,
like absolutely not.
yeah, absolutely not. You gotta buy the ticket and then pay $200 to eat at the Blue Bayou." We've never done it, so
That's
that's one
fucking
thing I want to do.
I mean, like the more I hear about it too, I'm like, I guess if you get that annual pass, right?
Sure.
It's like at least if you go at least 5 times per year. You've
will
gotten
at least-
you've gotten the
you got-
value out of it,
yeah.
right? Because it's like
Yeah.
$500-$600 or something like that.
Is that the bottom tier price? I
Yeah.
feel like that's bottom tier.
Yeah, it's but you can make payments on it and stuff.
Ugh.
Because I know broke ass people that have it, and I'm like, how do you have that?
They go there and they like have a bag of sandwiches.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, but we're all here." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, it only cost us $3,000." Oh, jeez. But the Blue Bayou is one of those things I want to go to just because it's here, and I've never been there before. People say the food is good, like Eagle Raptor always talks about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's always like, "Oh, I'm gonna do the Blue Bayou."
He's a millionaire though, so it
well,
doesn't count.
that's true. So millionaires probably just
So this is what I love about downtown Disney. You can get the Disneyland vibes and like the Disneyland quality in restaurants and stuff
yeah, especially what
for free
yeah.
outside of the park.
Well, not for free.
What do
the
you?
parking.
I mean the parking. Okay, but if you eat dinner there, they give you like 3 hours. It's not that bad.
Sure. Yeah.
But so one of my other favorite things there's a Starbucks. There's a Starbucks right next to the Disney store.
Yeah, that's a cool spot.
And it looks really cool. It doesn't look like any other Starbucks I've ever seen. It's like really high ceilings, and everything inside is made of like wood, and it just looks like some cozy German cottage or something.
And they got that cool screen. Remember the little screen that you can draw on?
Yeah, they have like this weird chalkboard that you can draw on with your finger.
It's a really cool looking Starbucks.
Yeah.
And their service is super fast because they got like 5 registers or whatever. And
yeah, it's like
they know they were gonna hit hop
it's
on.
like not only are they as peppy as Starbucks, but they have Disney to back it up. So
Yeah.
they're just like ultra peppy. They're ultra ready to get your order and stuff like that.
And then that La Brea Bakery that's right next to it, you can just buy the freshly made bread that's there. That's really good.
That's cool.
Yeah. Bring that
Lots of shit to do at downtown Disney. But
The
me
one-
and Ernie were talking. Are you gonna say about the security?
Yeah, that kills the entire vibe. It's just, And it sucks because like if you go in from where the parking lot is on either end of the Disney structure, they don't really search your stuff. But like me and Cindy were there early just to walk around downtown Disney, and then we went into the Grand Californian where Storytellers Cafe is. But on the way out, it was such a long line because they were like really searching the bags.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, this totally kills the vibe. It really, really does. Because let's just be honest. Like, if somebody wants to do something bad to Disney, they're not going to walk in the front door.
No, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like that whole... I mean, I don't want to get too off topic, but it's that whole 9/11 thing. It's like, you guys are looking for a box cutter, you're not going to find one now, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to do the same thing twice. They're going to think of something else. You guys are only putting up defenses for attacks that have already happened, basically, you know?
And at this point, if they really wanted to do something like that, I know it's kind of scary to think about it, but they could do it.
Do you even know what happened?
What do you mean?
I don't know what happened to trigger that new security that they have there.
It's been there, but it's because of all the different bombings that have been going around. Like, for example, like there was a famous like nightclub one in Florida where like this guy just bombed the hell out of it.
But that's why they started doing it here?
No, they've been doing it a lot. And so people like around the United States, like bombs, just people with bombs or like, you know, they're shooting the place
Bombs
up.
are a problem, so we're going to have to check your bag.
It's just because it's a place where a lot of people gather.
What really kind of like tells it all in one, I guess, moment was when I had to walk through the security thing, right? So I put my cell phone and my keys in that little bin or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "You're gonna have to take off your birthday button." And I was just like, you know what? Like, that is just like,
you guys gave this to me.
Doesn't that just kill the spirit of it all? Like, I don't think Walt Disney would have wanted it this way. You know,
you need to pop off that shirt too, sir.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, okay. I don't really want to go to downtown Disney that bad.
The boxers too? Why? I don't really understand.
They're just stripping you in the middle of downtown Disney.
It is my birthday, just to let you guys know.
It's just my suit. I gotta be in my birthday suit.
There you go.
But yeah, it was a fun time though.
Yeah, it was really nice. Time. It was nice too. And I put out my cartoon on Friday.
Oh,
so
that's
right.
I
was just like done with everything all weekend.
That was a really good cartoon, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it.
That voice acting was off the chart.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
Ernie did the voice of Doomfist.
I think he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I actually liked how it came out. I have a lot of people telling me that Melee Attack was the funniest joke. So,
really?
Yeah.
I like the sandwich gag, but maybe I'm just partial.
But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. So check it out if you haven't checked it out. It's on the channel.
Link in the description, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Why not? But that was this weekend. It was a good weekend for me.
Yeah, and then the other thing we talked about last week. Remember, we're trying to finish Metroid.
Yeah, I was trying to speed run the shit out of Metroid because I was working all week on the fucking cartoon. I was really trying to like, you know, just haul ass and get it done. Mm-hmm. And apologies to anybody who interacted with me that week because I was just an asshole. I was just really trying, like, super tunnel vision focused on this, and I was
just in your room and shut the door.
Yeah,
I was like, at one point, Cindy looked at me and she was like, "Is he mad?" I was like, "I don't know. Maybe he's just working." So there you go, an explanation.
So yeah, like as I said, I was trying to speedrun Metroid. I did not finish the game, but Ernie finished it, which is shocking.
What? Why?
Why don't you tell us what you think about it?
Well, first of all, the game is really, really great. The presentation as a whole is a little... It wasn't like 10 out of 10 on that one. It was a little like... I felt some of the parts were kind of like, this should be a bigger deal, no?
I don't know. You know, I'm at like Area 7 now, which I'm hoping is the last area. And this is like one of the only areas where I'm just like, wow, the backgrounds look really fucking cool.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean.
Where there's like computers and it has like screens with like Metroids on it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, this is fucking great. Like, it's almost a little bit distracting if I'm being completely honest. Like, because
the other ones are like, ooh, there's slime in the background or there's rocks, and I'm like, this is a little plain.
Yeah, some of the lava ones were a little bit plain. And you know what? Actually, there was a point where if we're talking about like background elements. There's a point where like I saw like red eyes glowing in the background,
Yeah,
and they close their eyes and they like scurry away, and I was like, what the fuck was that?
yeah.
I'm not sure if that was one of the Metroids I fought later, or if I just noticed that and it was just like
It wasn't a
little...
cutscene, right?
I don't remember actually.
Because there is a cutscene where something like that happens.
It wasn't a cutscene.
Okay.
But I thought you meant like, does it trigger a cutscene afterwards? I don't remember.
Well, it could have been also. It could have also been one of the Metroids that you fight later, and it was just like, who's that? And then it runs away.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely parts where, like, you'll be doing something, and then all of a sudden, like, the wall will start to crumble and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's like something's crawling up the wall, but
Yeah.
because you weren't in the right place to see it, it just kind of you can see the results of it.
That's something that we both kind of agreed on. We said we didn't really like how there's certain Metroids that you fight in one room, and then after you do enough damage or something, or after like a certain amount of time, they scurry away into a hole, and you got to go find them. And
Yeah, that's dumb. I didn't like that.
It was, yeah.
It was dumb because it was obviously there to lengthen the fight.
I feel like that too. Like
I mean, I also said in its defense, it was like, okay, you got to find the other room that it's in, so there's like some more discovery about it. But like the point I made last time was with the radar, or what is it called, the pulse,
or whatever
whatever it is,
that ear piercing noise.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I was trying to finish it yesterday, and I was doing that, and I thought I had it pretty low. And then Cindy comes out of the room and she's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh shoot, you can hear it in there."
Yeah, it's fucking
It's
loud.
loud and it's annoying. That thing kind of takes the guesswork out of that because you just do the beam or you do the pulse and then it shows you, oh, there's a room over there.
I think it would have been pretty frustratingly hard to find some of those things though.
Yeah, you're right.
Either way, I don't think that was such an amazing solution. It was
No.
like, oh, cut the battles in half and then just throw them into different rooms. It's kind
Yeah, and those guys were pretty easy,
but
to be honest.
But you did tell me that there's times where you killed it in one room.
Yeah, you can kill it before like most of them do it. Most of them crawled at 3 different rooms. But if you're fast enough and you can get those melee cutscenes,
Yeah.
and you have super bombs, you can get them beforehand.
Yeah, I actually noticed fighting one of them, those flying ones that have legs that can crawl and stuff. If you charge your ice beam and you shoot their belly, it'll freeze and then they'll fall to the ground. And right after they fall to the ground, they do an attack that can be parried.
Right.
So it's like, okay, there's some strategy here. If you know what you're doing, like you can speed up the process. It's not just
Because not only when you hit them in the freeze position, if they're facing towards you and they hit the ground, you can belt them in the face with a couple missiles before the melee attack too.
Right.
So there's a couple other free hits that you can get.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you can set them up a little easier. If they dive at you and you're up against a wall, they take a pause. So you actually have a second to either run away or shoot them again in the belly.
Yeah.
So there's some strategy there.
Okay, so I'm pretty much at the end of the game right now. And there's a few bosses that I've fought and then I'm like, man, these are some really cool bosses. It would have been cool if they were kind of sprinkled throughout the game, because there was definitely maybe 3 areas in a row where I was just like, I'm just fighting these Metroids and it's not super
It's
exciting.
not super cool. No.
They're kind of boring. Like that's one thing that another Metroid 2 remake did really well, is that between each areas you had these mini bosses that were really cool, and the Metroids themselves,
right,
they evolved pretty fast. So it
Okay.
wasn't the pacing of the game was a little better, I gotta say. But so one thing that this Nintendo one does, or I should just say Samus Returns, there's a lot of boss fights where you get to use your weapons. You have a variety of ways to beat some of these bosses. So there's Metroids with legs, obviously, and then they evolve into a bigger one or something.
Well, there's the Metroid that takes the little bee, which is the first ones you fight where they kind of float.
Yeah, those are
and they
easy.
just charge you
those
like
are
this.
Stupid.
And then they got the bigger ones.
Those also float, but
Those
they can
also
crawl.
float, but they can crawl, and they also have the what is it? The blast.
Yeah, they have a pulse beam.
They have a pulse beam as well, and then later on you get the big ones with the bipedal movement.
Well, they have. I'm talking about the one before that. So that there's these ones that stay on the ground most of the time, and then they'll crawl up to the ceiling.
Those are the ones with the bipedal. They can stand up.
So what you can do is you can grapple them. They have a point on their back that you can grapple, and you pull
them
down.
down.
And
Yeah.
that was actually something that I was like, that's cool. I like using the grappling hook in battle. That's That's
and you can do it from pretty far away too.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because like, I'm kind of comparing it to like, if you've ever played Super Smash Bros. Brawl, right? They made a mod for it called Project M. Mm-hmm. You know about that?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people know about that. A lot of people would say Project M was a way better game, only because
the fact that Nintendo put a kibosh on it, I think, kind of speaks volumes.
Well, I mean, not just that, but let me make my point here. Is like another Metroid 2 remake, right? Is kind of it kind of is good in the same way. It's made by fans, right? Mm-hmm. And it does things that fans would want, basically. The Nintendo version, so Samus Returns. I almost feel like the Nintendo mentality is like that's not good enough for them, you know? Like they were like, we don't want to rehash the same shit you've already seen. So for a fan remake, it would be good enough for you to say like, let's just bring back bosses, or let's just have the typical like, you know, you use this weapon to beat the boss. But in Nintendo's version, they're like, we have, you know, it's our IP. Let's do something like you can use the grappling hook, you know,
okay,
or like you can freeze them and they'll fall. You can parry them, you know. That's something that you can't do in a remake because it would be a little too risky. Is basically my point, you know.
Okay, I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's what Nintendo's has over AM2R, over another Metroid 2 remake, is like they're able to take these risks and they're able to change the franchise in whatever way they want, and it's just canon, you know. Like, so
yeah,
I do like that they did some new stuff. I don't want to say like, oh, they did new shit and I don't really like it. I want them to go back to, you know, that other stuff, because
no, I gotta say, like this, like some of the stuff that you like, some of the power ups here are like some things cancel out other things. Like for example, I think we were saying earlier, like one of the things that you usually get in Metroid is the speed boots.
Yeah.
So you can run through things and whatnot, but they instead gave you another I forget what they're called, but whatever uses your yellow bar.
Yeah.
You get that phase ability where you can run faster than like everything else slows down and you run fast.
So the last power you get is called phase drift. Mm-hmm. It allows you to slow down time for everything around Samus, but not Samus.
Right.
Which is actually a pretty interesting power because you can use it during boss fights.
Yeah. So your whole arsenal is available all the time.
So there's a boss fight in particular where it's like pretty hard to dodge stuff, and I ended up using it to make those parts easier.
Are you talking about the drill dude?
Yeah. So there's a guy that like kind of like puts his hands, like his drill things, like, and they cover most of the screen basically, but you can use this to kind of make it easier. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that was.
I ended up using the power shield for that.
Intentional. Yeah. Okay. So you can use that too. I guess that's true.
Yeah. And by the way, the yellow like ultra fire thing doesn't do more damage.
It just sucks.
It just sucks.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Because I've tried it on a couple of different bosses. I didn't really see a difference. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was garbage.
Yeah.
But along with that stuff, like the grappling hook, I thought they ended up using it a lot. I don't know. They did something with it a couple of times where I was like, oh, that's clever. Or like, for example, she can get pulled to it.
I actually like that.
She can pull things out of things, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm feeling it now."
Like, I really like that too. I was not a fan of Metroid Prime 3, where you could like, you like whipped it at people with shields, and you like,
and then you threw it back. Yeah.
I was kind of nah, it doesn't.
That was kind of a like I enjoyed it, but I could see like you have to like
swing your fist forward and then
whip it back. Like you had to be really exaggerated with it, so I can understand why people didn't like it, but. Like, just the little things they did in this game I thought were really cool. Like, for example, like, you've got the pulse... I think it's called the pulse rifle, or not the pulse rifle, the 3-shot thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first time...
it's called the Spazer.
Whatever it's called. Like, it shoots 3 of your normal beam, right?
Right.
So to kind of make that relationship with the door... They had a thing with 3 eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
So you have to shoot all 3 eyeballs in unison to open that door. Like, I like that kind of stuff.
You know what's cool too is that you bring that up as like so you get like a plasma beam or something. Mm-hmm. That normal gun shoots 3 times, but you always have the ice beam there. Mm-hmm. The ice beam is there because the reason I just said earlier, you can freeze enemies with it and then shoot them. Mm-hmm. And I just thought that was cool. I was like, oh, so I'm still using the ice beam towards the end of the game.
You
it's
use
not
it
like,
to fight a lot of the Metroids.
Yeah,
still.
it's not like it's obsolete. Basically,
Right.
It's like it's there for a reason. Like I mean, if you've played other Metroid games, it's always freeze them and then shoot them with a missile.
Right.
This game's a little bit different, obviously, but yeah. So I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, like I'm still towards the end of the game. I'm still using all my weapons. I'm still using my whole arsenal, basically.
That's what I really liked about this game. And further on, I'm not going to tell you the rest of the bad guys, but later on, there's definitely a guy where you're like, damn, I'm using everything to get at this guy. Did you beat the drill guy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, didn't it feel like you were using every single thing? Maybe not all the shield powers, but every single weapon to your advantage.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I had to use like the phase drift, and I had to use all my missiles, and I had to use my plasma thing.
I used the power shield when it started doing the laser things, like when it spun around, so I could just stand there and just like pump missiles into it.
You know, this is kind of a weird thing to like. This is like a weird pro, I guess, or like a weird positive about it. But not a lot of games have this, I swear. If you hit the fire button extremely fast, it fires extremely fast.
Yeah.
A lot of games don't have that. They have like a limit on how fast you can press the button.
Yeah.
But if I like really press the button fucking fast, I like shred through some of these things, and I really enjoy that about it. That's like,
and like you can, I guess you could call it. You could interrupt your like fire if you also like if you move your finger over to do the parry.
Yeah.
Like it's really easy to do that. Like I could be firing and then once I see that flash I can hit that button really quick.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to lag too much there.
There's some of those later bosses too, it's really hard to parry them.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like the later Metroids that I mean, okay, we're talking spoilers now for like,
yeah, I guess we should have said spoilers, but yeah, there you go.
There's like the Metroids eventually evolve into this big like fucking thing that stands up and you know has a tail and has a job and has life and everything.
It's 3 divorces.
Yeah, has a mortgage and so he's all big and he does really fast attacks where like you barely see the flash for like a second before you can parry it. So the game's like, what am I trying to say? Like the challenge of it, I think it's definitely up there with like the other Metroid games.
Yeah, the curve of the boss battles goes up real high towards the end. Like all of a sudden, it's like, all right, we gave you all these powers. Now you're on your own, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then some of the later like little enemies, they don't die. They're just in your way.
Yeah. Okay. So that brings me to something else I was gonna say is the screw attack. Mm-hmm. The screw attack is not the last thing you get in this game, which is usually. As far as I'm concerned, it usually is. And when you get the screw attack in other Metroid games, I'm talking like Fusion and like Super Metroid, when you get the screw attack, it just decimates everything on the screen. Like, everything like will just die to your screw attack. And it's actually not the case in this game. There's certain enemies that you'll just bounce off of them.
Yeah, because they're invincibles, I think. And I know which ones you're talking about particularly.
Like they have invincible moves or what?
No, they're just invincible. Like, you can't kill them. I've tried everything on some of them, and it's like this little tiny robot, like this big.
You can kill that guy.
It has
just fire at him.
No. There's 2 versions of them. There's a yellow one,
and
then there's a silver one. The silver one doesn't die.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can fire at it all you want. Use a like a power bomb from your morph ball thing. You can fire rockets at it. They just bounce off. Those don't die, but the yellow version of them do die because you could just rock your 3-pronged fire thing at it because it goes through walls and I'm just like it'll die. But that and the turrets, there's the turrets that are silver, not gold. The silver ones
they don't die either. Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my whole point was in Fusion. Once you get to that point where you get the screw attack, it feels really good to just tear through everything that gave you trouble before.
Yeah.
And this time around, it was a little more like. Okay, I mean, it doesn't even look that cool, if I'm being completely honest.
No, it doesn't really look that cool. The sound is there. The sound effect is good.
Sure, but I don't know, in other games it looks a little more staticky, and it looks a little like...
Yeah, more electricity in it.
Yeah, in this game it kind of just looks like a spin dash or something. Like.
Yeah, it doesn't look that great, but it still operates the same way.
For the most part, yeah. It doesn't destroy everything like I said, but... yeah. I'm kind of sad to hear that the boots aren't in it, though. The boots are like...
Yeah, because I like being able to just kind of rocket through an area and just like decimate people. That's one of those parts in like Fusion that I really dug. You're just like running through guys, just like crazy, and then just absorbing everything in your way.
I I just always thought it looked really cool.
It does.
I
remember in one of them you could run, and then like if you push jump, all of a sudden it goes like, and you take off like a shotgun.
Well, yeah, it's a Shine Spark. There's like a whole technique. Speedrunners use it like crazy. So I was okay, but I understand why it's not in there. You know, it's like they have phase drift. They could have smaller areas that just have that same kind of feel to them. You know, like.
Also, I was telling you outside, or like earlier when we initially just kind of talked about, I was like, I think the frame rate of this game is low. So I think if she started running, I think it would be too much for the system.
Maybe, you know, yeah. I don't know.
Because even like you were even commenting too that the phase power looks really choppy.
The phase drift when you slow down stuff, it looks a little bit weird. Like you think it would be like, okay, phase drift, and now like there's a higher frame rate or something in the background so that everything moves slower, or it gives the illusion of being slower.
But it just feels like it's going keyframes.
It's
like
it chops. It looks a little bit jank, I guess. But yeah, so I don't know. I enjoyed it. I think I'm enjoying the end more though.
Yes.
Than some of the middle parts, like
you'll enjoy the end more.
Yeah,
definitely. And one of those things is the exploration part of it gets better and better.
Mm-hmm.
And then the end sequence, I'm gonna try not to spoil anything. The end sequence has the most story to it, and it's done very well.
Okay.
So when I actually finished the game, I was like, that's a great ending.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Cool.
So I was pretty satisfied with the ending.
Yeah, because the game doesn't have any cutscenes as far as I'm concerned.
It has a couple, like when you first kind of run into the drill guy and he's chasing you down.
Yeah.
There's a bit of that, and then later on you kind of run into something with another boss like
Those
that.
segments were awesome, actually. I should have talked about that. So there's like a drill that chases you at one point.
Yeah, that part was BS.
And you have to kind of like climb your way through, or there's like a grappling hook point. You have to move pretty fucking fast, I gotta say.
Yeah, and they did this really annoying thing. I mean, annoying to me, but probably like it's a challenge, you know? It's where like one thing I really hate in this game is those stupid blocks that look like regular floor, and then all of a sudden when you step on them, you fall through instantly.
Yeah.
Those are so annoying, and I hate them.
Yeah.
So this area in particular, if you have to go into a morph ball and then like ride these little tunnels, but if you're just riding a tunnel without gripping the wall, you fall through, and then you have to like use a bomb to get out of this little area.
Oh, okay.
Or if you already know it, you can climb, you can like attach yourself to the roof of the little tunnel.
Just spider ball it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But spider ball, you move so slow in spider ball.
Yeah, okay. So another thing I guess to talk about is the controls, because AM2R, another Metroid 2 remake, does a really good job of like kind of streamlining the controls.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't obviously have 360 shooting, right? So what L does is it morph balls. The only way to morph ball in this game is to press down twice, or to touch the screen.
Right. That's what I do.
I'm not gonna do that.
Why not?
Because it's not fast. It's just I mean I guess I could like stretch my finger over there, but it's not as just like quick as just pressing L, you know? Yeah. I kind of hope that there was something like that. Whatever. I guess not. But the other thing they do is Spider Ball is a toggle. I don't know if you can change that in this game, like in the options or something, but so when you turn on Spider Ball, you just stay like that, and you don't have to hold the button.
That would have been better.
It's a little nicer, because I think they understood that like they're going to be doing this for a long time sometimes, so just let them take their finger, because there have been times where I'm just like, I just gotta fucking let go of this shit, and like it's just not worth it to go all the way up to the ceiling, and you know. I
will say for that drill boss battle, it was better to have it not toggled.
Okay.
Because if you remember correctly, like the way that you beat the last part, you need your spider ball ability.
Okay.
To like escape.
I don't remember that actually. Okay, I just played it too.
Okay, so is that this drill guy decides I'm gonna suck everything up. Right. And the way you defeat him is when he's doing that, you morph ball down and you drop little bombs, and then he sucks them up into his face.
Yeah.
But when he gets to the edge, you can just spider ball under the wall, and he won't suck you in.
That's not what I was doing.
Oh, what were you doing?
Okay, so you're talking about this phase where he like tornadoes air into himself. He sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would whatever hero would start, I would start right in front of his wind tunnel or whatever, and I would just place bombs. Mm-hmm. and then I would jump over him, and I would do the same thing going the other way.
But in morph ball mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He took 12 bombs.
Okay, well, I just spider balled to the wall so he couldn't suck me in.
But that means that you missed a phase then, huh?
Yeah. I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
So you did it better. Is that what you want to hear?
No, it's just at one point it was getting frustrating because that boss in particular, is the last part of him is really stupid. It's like...
Yeah, it took me forever to figure out what to do.
You have to, like, get on his head.
Yeah.
And, like... place bombs when these things are lined up or something.
That was such BS.
Yeah, if you guys know what I'm talking about, tell me it's bullshit.
I got pissed off because I placed 2 bombs in one run, but it only counted 1.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a bit strange.
That was pissed me off.
But it was pretty satisfying to just
I like that
to destroy it.
Yeah.
With the power bomb at the end.
And then the little cutscene, yeah, that was just like...
That was okay. Cool. I was like, like something about that was just kind of like, let me do that, like Samus is silent. That's me in there, okay?
It's me.
Yeah,
I'm the.
I'm serious too.
I'm the space cowboy.
I've always really liked that about Samus. Like okay, let me just say this first then. When I was playing Sonic Mania, after I beat Sonic Mania, I was like, man, I really appreciate Sonic being quiet. Like it's been a really long time since I've played a game where Sonic is quiet. And it's not that I hate Sonic's personality, but I think when you try really hard to give a character personality through acting or through cutscenes and stuff, they become a subject to like hate, or they can be subject to hate is what I'm trying to say, Like you can't really hate Mario for his personality because he has no personality,
He's just a happy-go-lucky guy.
Or I should say, you can't even say that about him because he's just there for the purpose of jumping.
Yeah.
Dante from Devil May Cry is a different story. He has a big personality, and because of that, people will say like he's a douche, or I don't like him.
Yeah.
And Sonic was something that was kind of similar, where he was kind of cocky and he had an attitude.
Right.
And those people that were just like, this is lame, or I don't like this, and then they won't play the game at all. So, my point is, Samus is on the spectrum of silent protagonist. You can insert yourself into that character's shoes because they don't say anything the whole game.
Maybe that's why people didn't like the other M.
Right, but also like Link, it's really easy to put yourself in Link's shoes because like most of the time you can name Link as yourself, and he doesn't talk. He just grunts or whatever the fuck he does. Yeah. So. Just like those little parts where she does stuff like, where she like looks away and she shoots something. I was kind of like, she did that on her own all of a sudden. Like I've been controlling this character the whole time. Even those parts where you parry something, and you're like on top of a Metroid and you're shooting it.
Yeah,
you're still shooting it.
Yeah, I love that. That was one of my favorite parts.
It's not just happening. You're still doing it. Like,
especially with the later bosses, how it's more of a little cutscene type of thing. Like there's 3 phases in it where you can shoot them or whatever.
Yeah,
those I really love.
There's one where she like flips into the camera or something.
Yeah, because like the thing tries to hit you because you're on its belly. And it like tries to get you, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah,
you jump into the air and do this cool move, and then you're like right in its mouth. And you just start shooting stuff.
There's some of these scenes where I've been like, maybe I should turn the 3D on, but I didn't want my fucking 3DS to die because it drains the battery pretty fast. But yeah, so. I really like it so far. I have nothing but good things to say about it, pretty much. I
actually can't wait to finish it again because somebody informed me that if you finish it 100%, you get something else. Yeah, so I'm like, yes, I want to finish it now.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck it is. I know what it's called. I know it's called Fusion Mode, but I don't know what it actually is. So I'm curious to see.
Well, if it's Fusion Mode, my guess is it's gonna do the same thing that it did in Metroid Fusion, which is those little gooey things will come out of stuff and then you can absorb them.
I guess.
Well, I don't know how that changes gameplay, but like I'm like, okay, sure, whatever.
What I was hoping is that maybe they'll have like a Zero Suit Samus segment or something.
Zero Suit Samus.
Like without her suit and stuff.
Yeah, but that wouldn't make sense. They should just call it Zero Mission or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. All right, Ernie. I guess it's a stupid idea. I guess you don't see Zero Suit Samus when she dies, but whatever. They clearly have the model there.
It's there. You're right. It's there. But there you go. So I gotta say it's pretty cool to actually run back through it now with all the powers.
Yeah.
The screw attack, I admit, is very, very satisfying to go through all these old levels now. Because it's like, you just can do whatever you want now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's always a good feeling in any Metroid game, is that, like, by the end, you're, like, beefed up. Like, you have everything.
Just everything, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to ask you, do you have the last suit?
I have the gravity suit.
Which is, what color
Purple.
is it? Purple. Yeah, what did you think?
The design of it, or what?
Yeah.
It looks a bit weird because there's like 3 like stripes on it now.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of weird, and the spider ball just looks like some weird like I don't know. It has all these lines on it.
Yeah.
My favorite designs are always going to be the Metroid Prime suits. I love those suits so much. Like just the spider ball alone, like it looks so fucking cool in that game.
Well, but that's in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this one is like
this
3D, but it's tiny.
This one's not in 3D.
It's 3D, but it's tiny, man. Give it a break.
Yeah, I know. Like I told you last week, the game looks like, I'm not gonna
garbage.
say it looks kind of ugly, but only because it's on a 3DS and it's a pretty old piece of technology.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can do about it, but like I like the purple against the orange. I think it looks really cool, and towards the end of that level, you just tend to start.
You're just talking about the suit now.
Yeah. The suit itself looks really cool. I like the purple. It looks really good.
It's always. I mean, the progression of the suits is always like, once you get the purple one, it just means something in Metroid games. You know, when you have that purple suit, you're like, I'm badass. I don't have to fuck with water anymore. You know, like
the water.
Yeah,
the water was such a stupid barrier to pass, but whatever. I mean, I get what they were trying to do.
It's in every Metroid game. It's whatever, you know, like it's gonna be.
Well,
there.
that's one of those things that I kind of, you know, like not to turn too far over, but the first DS game that was the Castlevania DS had something similar where at the end of that game you get this power that's really great.
Lord of Shadows or Lords of Shadows?
No, not Lord of Shadows. It was it's called DS. It's like
Dawn of Sorrow.
Dawn of Sorrow, right?
Yeah.
They have something similar where you get this like it's called like a panther spirit, and you just rush through everything.
Okay.
And it does damage. Like there's this shield in front of you that does damage. So you just run through everything, and that's kind of the same idea that's happening right now. Like this charge. The screw attack. I'm just like running through everything.
You know, I don't know if this. I didn't fact check this. Somebody just told me this, so I don't know if it's true. But apparently, the people that worked on Castlevania Lords of Shadow on 3DS did this game. So that's
I really like that game.
So it's pretty funny that like everyone says Metroidvania. Somebody who worked on a Castlevania now working on a Metroid.
If that's true, it makes a lot of sense because that one again is a 2D. Side scroller.
Yeah,
it has a really great story.
With like
if you read up on it, you get to play as 3 different people, 3 different eras, and they all come together in one like glorious story. It's really good.
That's cool.
It's actually that story is way better than its actual like
console counterpart.
The 2 console counterparts. This one's way better because you get to play as Alucard, Richter, and you get to play as Gabriel.
That's cool. Yeah.
So you get to play as all 3 of these people, and it's just like, this is so good. Damn it.
Maybe I'll check it out then. I don't know. Because I enjoyed this game for the most part. Like I said, there a few nitpicks here and there, but they didn't really hurt the game, I think. Overall, it was a pretty fucking solid 3DS game. You know? Like,
yeah. I'm running through this again.
Yeah.
That's saying something. And I really had a lot of fun playing the game in its entirety. I didn't feel like... At one point, I got really pissed off at the drill guy. And I was like, how the hell do I beat this?
Yeah.
But each fight didn't seem like impossible.
Right. They were all pretty doable.
And you will absolutely love the final boss battle.
You know, that's what I like about Metroid games, or I should say like Nintendo games, versus like other games that have like level up systems and all that stuff. Only because in games where you level up and stuff, I'm never sure like... Okay, am I at the right level to beat this guy? Or, like, is this one of those games where, like, if I don't beat him at this level, people are going to talk shit? Or, like, you know, like, I can just get really strong and beat him that way? Or is that, like, the cheesy way to do it? You know, like,
right.
I like just going into, like, a game, and then as soon as I enter, like, a boss room, it's like, I know from the minute I step in there, I can beat this boss. I have
I
everything.
just need to figure out. Oh, and that brings me to another little tidbit that I really liked about this game. Every time you face a Metroid or like a big boss, they give you a little quick save right outside the door.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Because if you turn off the game, yeah, it boots you back to your regular save. But like you can actually like kill a couple monsters and then come back. So you have your all your life and everything back, and you can go into it again and it'll resave a little quick save spot right outside the door.
Yeah, I noticed that like I kept doing that, and I kept getting more life every time I started the fight.
Yeah, with the drill guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was exactly it. 'Cause it took me forever to figure that out.
Yeah.
Like the parts where he puts his drill hands down and you gotta climb up, that I got.
Yeah.
It was that very last part that was like, what the hell do I do?
Yeah,
Couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I do appreciate the fact, like I said, these risks that they took as far as like, oh, this boss is like a puzzle too. He's not just a straightforward.
I kind of wish there were more of those guys.
Yeah.
Like I didn't appreciate the chase. I thought that was dumb.
I like that. I thought that
But
was cool.
well, me, I don't know. I don't like games that have a ticking clock, I guess.
Yeah, you don't like Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
Well, you know
but,
what? All I was gonna say is like, I was saying last week that this game moves kind of slow.
Mm-hmm.
That drill part was me like, okay, you can actually move fast in this game. It's possible. Like it's actually possible, especially like those grappling hook parts. I was like, man, that's fucking cool. Like you go straight to like whatever you're grappling. I kind of like turned around on that, you know. But yeah, so those are our thoughts on Metroid.
Yeah, great game if you can pick it up. I digitally downloaded it. You got the actual cartridge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The box is really nice. It has like a foil cover and it's like very shiny, and I just like looking at the Metroid logo and stuff.
Did you see somebody made a mock cover
Of what?
that said Game Boy on the side?
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, isn't that fun? Is there a reverse sleeve in here?
I don't think so. I think it's... I was,
you're right.
I was pretty mad because there's like there's no instruction booklet. There's like a piece of fucking warning paper in there or whatever.
Yeah, they've been slowly getting rid of all that stuff.
And so they had like a Steelbox special edition.
Did it come with what?
All it came with was like the soundtrack or something. I was like, just give me a real instruction booklet. That's all I care about. I don't really need any of this. Whatever.
I'm surprised they didn't do like a special edition that came with the amiibo in front of it. Because the
Yeah.
amiibo exactly it's exactly the cover of this thing. So if you put them side by side, like one in front of the other, it's like, oh look, it's a 3D rendition of the cover.
That's true.
You know?
I told you this too. At GameStop online, they had them, and it was like, oh, $29.99, right? I was like,
Okay.
whatever. I was like, whatever. Who cares? I go to check out, and all of a sudden the total is like 41 something. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and it turns out like they charge you tax and they charge you shipping, which is like, I get it. They have to do that, but I was like, this is why people go to Amazon, dude. Like people.
Yeah, I that's exactly what I did. I had a $50 from I forget where I got it from. I think it was a birthday present or something. I got $50 off Amazon.
Uh-huh.
I was like, screw it, I'll just get a code and download it.
Yeah.
And the download didn't even take that long.
Yeah.
So I was just like, that's way better than having to wait in line and do all that crap. So I was just like, totally, I'm gonna do this.
But yeah,
Screw it.
the Super Nintendo Classic is coming out this Friday.
Yeah, my freaking pre-order didn't get canceled.
Yeah, so
that's like a miracle.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't get canceled by Friday, because that's...
Shut up! Why you gotta say things like that? If they haven't canceled it now, they're not gonna cancel it.
Yeah, I think so. Supposedly though, like Best Buy and Target are gonna get like 200 or something.
It's really crazy because you said, like, I was talking to one of your friends and they're like, "Oh, I work at Target."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, sweet. So you got one tucked away?" And they're like, "No, they don't let you do that."
No, yeah, right. Like that.
That's so dumb. You work there.
But from what I heard about like the Nintendo Classic, it's like you're even less likely to get one if you work there, because you can't, like, if you're working that day, you can't obviously stand outside and like like it's.
But like, I used to work at GameStop, right? Mm-hmm. And in GameStop, like they said, we're getting 10. I was like, well, I'm obviously getting one. Are you getting one? It's like, yeah. And they're like, okay, well, we'll put your pre-orders in first. I was like, great. That's actually how I got the Wii.
That's fucked up.
But it makes sense that like they're your employees. Their money is as good as anybody else's.
I just don't think they should show favoritism like that. Then it's gonna be like all these Target employees are getting them first, and what if they
No, I'm saying like obviously one per your employee. Obviously,
Well, what if they just scalp them? You know, you can't really. If they really want them, they're gonna spend the night outside.
I guess, but I don't know. If your employee wants one and you're buying it from the same place, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a hot ticket item.
You know, but okay, so
it just
horrible pre-order Nintendo shit aside. I'm looking at like the list of this game, the games on it and stuff, and I'm like, fuck. Super Nintendo had like some real games. Like not Nintendo had Nintendo had great games too. But Super Nintendo has like Mario RPG, man. Like
Super Punch-Out.
That was such a fucking like big game when I was a kid, and like I mean I know Chrono Trigger's not on there, but they have like
it'll be on there.
They have like secret, they have like Secret of Mana. They have I mean Super Mario World.
Yeah.
They have like these
they have
big
good ass
fucking games,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
Like
I'm excited to play Super Mario RPG again. I played that game like I don't know how many different times. But I'm really excited to see it again for some reason. Because I think it's going to run really good on this thing.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. But I want to say, like, people that are, like, our age, so, like, mid-20s, 30s, they like Super Nintendo. That is their fucking console.
Because that's the one they grew up with.
Yeah.
It's like, our sisters grew up with Atari.
Yeah.
So they got that one. I got the Nintendo. So Nintendo was, like, my system.
Yeah.
But yours was more the Super Nintendo. I mean, we had a Sega Genesis too, but the Super Nintendo was really where you grew up with it.
Yeah, like Sega. That's what I'm saying. Like RPGs, basically.
Yeah.
Like
and the first Street Fighter.
Sega didn't really have RPGs.
Right.
You know, like Super Nintendo. Like I mean, I'm just talking Mario RPG, but like Chrono Trigger and like Earthbound, and like it's got all these titles on there that are like fucking classics. You know? Like,
yeah. Not to mention the first. I mean, the first supposedly good Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 3.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Is that going to be on there? I think it is, huh?
I think it is, yeah. And again, like, it was... I got it on the day of it came out. And then you told me, oh, somebody put, like, 100 games on it. So I have a feeling as soon as I get it, they're going to be like, oh, put, like, all the Super Nintendos on it. So...
All the Super
Nintendo, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it has the storage capacity. Those games aren't huge.
You know what's smart about this one, though? I mean, so obviously they're making more because people want more.
Yeah.
It comes with 2 controllers.
And I read today on Destructoid that your old Nintendo controllers work with this one because they have the same plug-in.
What do you mean your old Nintendo controllers?
The Nintendo controllers from the NES Mini work on this one.
Why would you want to do that though?
I don't know, but vice versa.
Okay, cool.
That's kind of cool.
Well, I mean, I guess it is cool because, just in case you want more controllers. I don't know.
Well, no, it makes sense.
I have no idea. But that was a problem with the first NES Classic was that, like, you got one, right?
Right. And what I'm saying is also, like, the extensions will work for this one, too.
All right. That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're using the extensions on the other one, just, cross them over. You don't have to buy new ones.
Nice.
But you're right. The 2-player thing is great. I believe Street Fighter's on this, too.
Yeah.
And Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo was like we had fights in our house over somebody beating somebody else at Street Fighter 2 because that game is just like ridiculously.
I mean, you have it on Switch, and the other day we just like busted it out of Denny's and we're like, it's like say what you will about new Capcom, Capcom nowadays is a bit funky.
Yeah.
They release games that are like half made and like.
In seasons.
They're doing this whole season thing, which I fucking hate. But like Street Fighter 2 is like a timeless class. You really cannot like deny how fun that game is. Like,
we were just playing at a random we went to Denny's because I was getting my car fixed or something like that, and it was just fun to bust out and play. And then the other day, I forget when we were sitting there.
I think it was Memorial
Day.
Day.
Was it Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah, or Labor Day or something.
We were waiting for something, and you're like, pop in the Street Fighter. Let's play.
Yeah.
And it was great because, I don't know, something about that game. I don't know if we picked the characters we picked just because we're brothers, but you always pick Ryu, I always pick Ken when it comes to these games. And
just because we're brothers.
I don't know if that's just it, but like we always have so much fun just playing those 2 characters over and over and over again.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that game is just like really solid all around.
I think they gave us so many F-Zero. I'm like, I probably would have preferred like Mario Kart.
I think Mario Kart's
No, but like if they had to pick one racing game, is what I'm saying, and they just gave us one, I would have probably picked Mario Kart because F-Zero was just too crazy for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know this is a lot to ask, but I was hoping they would have all of the Donkey Kong countries on there.
That's too much to
I
ask.
love Donkey Kong
That's
countries.
too much to
My
ask.
3DS has all 3 Donkey Kong
I know
countries.
it does.
And they're all completed. I love Donkey Kong Country.
To be honest, if they had to give us only one, I would probably pick 2. 2 was the superior Donkey Kong game.
Yeah.
Like they took whatever they did in the first one, they took out all the annoying crap and just made it so much better with Diddy and Dixie.
It's hard to say which one's better because part 1 is like you can't deny the classic that's part 1.
Yeah, but there's some BS parts in that one where I'm just like, this is dumb for dumb's sake.
Yeah.
You know, like the bad guys are so much better in the second one. At one point in the first one, you fight a drum.
Yeah.
And it's called Dumb Drum.
Was
it's just yeah.
Okay.
It's like that poison drum. And just like okay.
And he like spits out enemies.
Yeah, and then you have those stupid birds that it's just the same. It's just a bird's head. Exactly, and it's twice. You have to fight them twice.
Yeah.
They're just like the other one had
They
like
recolored
ghosts.
them. They recolored them.
Yeah, they gave them a little redder tinge. But remember, like in the second one, it's annoying as hell. But in the second one, remember, there's that ghost that follows you around.
Yeah.
And that's a cool boss.
Yeah. So like, I agree with you too. Part 2 is really great. It's just, it's always hard to choose between 1 or 2 in a series because it's like one is the one that started it. You have to respect that one.
What about Street Fighter 1 and 2?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. A good example though is Portal. You know, it's like a lot of people say Portal 2 is really good because it had more. But Portal 1 was the one that like started it, and it's like it's a.
But Portal 1 is where all the memes come from.
Sure.
Like that's how good that story was. It's like, and I think I've said this before, so I might be repeating myself. But Portal 1 is like the best sandwich you've ever had, but it's a tiny sandwich.
Yeah.
Right, and then Portal 2 is maybe a little like the quality on the sandwich is dropped down, but there's more of it.
Okay, so it's a foot long.
Yeah, it's like a foot. Like to me, it's like if you go to In-N-Out and just have a cheeseburger, it's a really good cheeseburger, obviously, but doesn't necessarily get you full because it's just a cheeseburger. But you can go to like
Subway.
No. You could go to like Burger King. They got that big Whopper or whatever, and you can eat that. It's pretty good, and it'll fill you up because it's more of it.
This analogy isn't working.
All right, whatever.
It's just making me hungry.
But yeah, like all in all, yeah. That's what I mean. Like, I enjoy Portal 2, and the co-op is cool, but you're right. Portal 1, a million times better. I just like they did everything so well in it, you know? Let's put that on an emulator.
My point was Donkey Kong 2 is really good. Part 3, on the other hand, is a little bit eh.
That's so dumb. Like, what was the point? Like, even in the first area, is like, well, what is the point of that little raft that you get on to go over the water? Like, what does that accomplish? Nothing.
I don't know.
It's not like you can go to different places. There's 2 docks, and that's it.
It's just really easy. If I'm being completely honest, I remember.
There's 2 babies.
Yeah, it's Dixie Kong and Baby Kong.
That Baby Kong is a piece of garbage. Nobody ever wanted to play with that one.
You know, and that's the thing too. Is like Donkey Kong Country 2 had Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong. I love them. They're like such a cool little duo. I remember in Donkey Kong 1, I hated playing as Donkey Kong. I would always just kill him. And then just play as Diddy Kong.
I like to play as Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
He had that cool spin attack that you could, like, if you spin attacked and jump, he went further.
He seemed harder to play.
Really?
He?
No, I thought he was easy.
He's beefier. He has like a
got a little more meat on him.
He has like a bigger
But he could do the ground pound and get free nanners.
Yeah,
maybe. You know, he was cool. I liked him. I don't know why I had such a problem with Kitty Kong in the end, but I just...
Oh, it is Kitty Kong. You're right.
It's Kitty. What did you call him?
Baby Kong.
Oh, I think it's called Kitty Kong.
I think his name is Kitty Kong.
But yeah, you're right. I like, but the problem is that Dixie can float.
Yeah.
Like, Diddy couldn't float in the first one.
I used Dixie Kong a lot in part 2.
That's the thing. It's like
some bullshit levels.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that she floats makes some part just easier. But Diddy and Donkey Kong, the 2 of them, they have the same basic moves, except one's obviously stronger than the other.
I think it's easier to do that cartwheel jump thing with Diddy Kong.
I think you're right.
Like where you roll off the edge and jump. You know.
But I think in my opinion, like the Donkey Kong is easier to use to fight bad guys with. Because I always use Donkey Kong. I don't switch to Diddy.
Yeah, he kills the bigger guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got on quite a tangent here.
Oh, sorry. Well, we started talking about the Super Nintendo, and like I can't wait. It's Friday's gonna see. The Friday is gonna be a big day because not only am I gonna like.
Hopefully the Super Nintendo comes in that day.
Yeah. You're right. If I do get it, then I'll just go on my lunch and grab it and bring it back to the office and play it some more. Or just bust it out and play it there. But also Cuphead is coming out.
Yeah.
Finally.
It's
finally coming
Cuphead,
out.
I'm wearing the shirt right now.
I know. I was kind of jelly. I didn't know you got that. That's such a cool shirt.
So if you're at the end of the podcast listening to this, I'm gonna try and stream Cuphead as soon as I get it on Friday. So Friday night, maybe around like 8 or 9 o'clock, I'm gonna try to hop on and see how far I can get. You know, I don't want to beat it all in one run. You know, but
it's only $20, right?
Yeah, it's a $20 game. It's taken like 9 years to make.
Dude, but the animation looks so good on it.
It's two brothers actually.
It's two brothers.
Yeah, Chad and Jared Moldenhauer. This is their first game, and they have a company. I think it's MDLR or something. It's Moldenhauer's initial.
Do they need animators? Because
yeah, I believe they're both artists, but they formed this company, and I guess they were supposed to release it like a year ago.
Yeah.
But it was just an all boss rush kind of thing.
Oh.
And then they said, well, if you give us more time, we'll go ahead and we'll add full levels and have it like as a real platforming game. And so they did that. And so now this is like the...
Yeah, I saw the first part of it, which is like you walk around this little world that they like. It's just a level to level
like
world.
Sketching, right? Or something
yeah,
like that.
Yeah, and it's cool. I like it. He's like, this little extra effort made me really like this.
I'm in love with how it looks. It looks so fucking good.
And I like that they have two Cupheads.
Yeah, one of them is called Cuphead, and the other one's called like Mug. Something.
Mug something. Yeah. But I like that they only have like tiny differences. Like Cuphead's eyes clash together, and they're like on the broad side of the cup.
Yeah.
And then the other guy has like a tiny set of eyes on it.
Yeah.
Cuphead has his little straw bent, and the other guy's is straight up.
Yeah.
And then bigger nose, smaller nose. It's just like those little things. I was like, and one's red and one's blue.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Gunstar Heroes.
Yeah.
You know how like red is red, obviously, and
blue is blue.
No, one of them's a chick, right? I think.
Yellow.
Oh, okay.
Yellow's
so the two main guys are guys. Okay.
Yeah.
And but they have different designs.
Yeah. One's the... Oh, man, I always hated it because I always liked the bandana dude. But remember that game, bandana dude has to stand still to shoot.
Is a fixed shot?
A fixed shot.
Yeah,
He's fixed
okay,
shot.
yeah.
I always hated that. But yeah, I like, this is cool to see, like, such old school animation. And then when I was watching the boss battles, I was like, oh man, look at how expressive they are.
They look amazing. I remember seeing pencil animations for it, like a long ass time ago. And I was like, what the fuck is this, dude? I gotta know what this is. And it turned out it was a game. I was like, holy shit. It's gonna be cool. But
I can't wait.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's a long time coming, so stay tuned for that. But that's it for this week, guys. Any final thoughts, Ernie?
I don't know what to draw for this episode.
Metroid.
That was the bulk of it, yeah.
Draw the main character Metroid with her gun.
Metroid
with
her gun. Should I draw Zelda with his mighty sword and shield as well?
Yeah, you should. You know what you should do? you know the cover to Mega Man 2, how it's like an old guy with a gun?
Yeah.
You should do that.
With the helmet on?
Yeah. You should do that, but Samus.
Not gonna do that. But yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hope you guys have a nice week.
Yeah, but any final thoughts for you?
Hope you guys had a nice week. That was my final thought.
All right. And if you're lucky enough to get the Super Nintendo Classic, let us know what you think about it. Like, is it worth the money?
Yeah.
Was it worth the 3-hour wait outside of Target at 6 in the morning? Was it worth that?
Let us know about that. Let us know about how you smell after waiting outside for so long.
We smell like old people in sadness.
Yeah, we want to hear about that. Okay. So that about does it.
Remember, tune into the Twitch, on Friday.
I'm trying to close this out.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm just trying to get you some...
I'm just trying to close this out for people. Okay. Now, see you next week, guys.
See you guys.